for 72 hours, the next 72 hours, if you book a reservation on the Legends of Pittsburgh cruise, and all you have to do is go to legendsofpittsburghcruise.com, and you'll be able to get up there. But yeah, if you use the promo code 72 as well, right? Because 72 in honor of Zach, we'll give you $300 off of your reservation along with a signed copy of my book. Yeah, right there, Most of Your Life, man. I'm signing the copies, mailing them directly to you as well, man. So for the next 72 hours, that's 3 days, all right?
Yeah.
That's sufficient.
3 days, exactly.
3 days of extra times in honor of Mr. Zach Banner, in honor of the awesome people that are always tuning into this show, baby. So yeah, man, if you use the promo code 72, just the number 7 and the number 2, when you check out at legendsofpittsburghcruise.com, you will receive $300 off along with autographed copy of my book, baby. That's what I feel like the people deserve that, man. That's the least we could do.
Sounds like
that's
a great
the least
deal.
we could do, man. Can we talk a little bit about this cornerback market, man? Because we had somebody bring up Xavien Howard.
Yep.
Obviously, Stephon Gilmore. He's another name that's been circulating out there. So I said, man, you know what? Let's come in here. We got to talk a little bit about this cornerback market and if we should be exploring it, especially coming on the heels of James Pierre impressing during this mini camp time frame. So let us know in the chat. How y'all thinking, man? Should we make any moves at the cornerback room, man? Xavien Howard, we know his contract situation down in Miami. He's not too happy with it.
Did you know he had double-digit interceptions last year?
Absolutely. Dude, Xavien's a beast.
I thought he had like 8.
No, he's been a beast for a minute, but he don't get a lot of respect. Yeah. You play in Miami right now and they bad, it happens. But no, Xavien's a monster, bro. He can do his thing, man. There's a defense, though. You look at their stats.
Yeah, their defense
they were legit, man. For a fact, they were legit.
They still ended up going 10-6 with the quarterback situation they had last year, in between Tua not having the best rookie performance and also Ryan Fitzpatrick, who actually, weirdly, he's having some of the best seasons of his career over these past like 4 or 5 years, whether it's with the Jets,
dog, Fitz,
Dolphins.
Magic. That's my dog.
Just so random. But did you want to go first with this?
No, I like when you go first right here, man. Because I was laughing as I'm reading through the comments. They called you a narco DEA agent from 1983. It just killed me. Shout out Double HH. I was trying to stay focused as you were going.
So I got my year right. I said I look like I'm going to Heinz or Three River Stadium back in like 1983.
Yeah, that killed me right there. But yeah, we'll go with you though first, man. In terms of cornerback market, man. If you're thinking about one of these guys potentially, man.
I like the idea of both. Right off the bat, right on the surface. It sounds amazing. We bring in Stephon Gilmore. All of a sudden, we have Stephon Gilmore, Cam Sutton, Joe Hayden. We bring in Xavien Howard. We have Xavien Howard, Joe Hayden, Cam Sutton. Add Minka Fitzpatrick, Terrell Edmonds. Our secondary feels unstoppable.
Dude, that's a monster secondary right there.
So,
monster.
I don't want to write it off completely. And I do love it when big names get thrown into the trade market, the trade rumors. Yeah, I want the Steelers to get any of these guys. Especially Xavien Howard, if we're going to go between the two, because he's more in his prime. But whenever I think of it more and more, we have this cap flexibility coming up in 2022. I think the least risky of the two would be Xavien Howard.
Okay.
Just because he is younger. I feel like we'd be getting him in his best years if he came here. He already does have a contract. I think it's for like $15 million.
Because he just finished up the first year of his contract, so he's still on the smaller money portion of it.
But here's the problem. I think he wants more money. It's not that he wants out of Miami. So that's problematic for us.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey's getting like $20 million. So that means we would have to pay Xavien Howard probably $20 million a year. Which, is he worth that? Probably. Like, he's a top 3 cornerback in the league. I just don't know if it's the best fit for us going into this offseason coming up. Where if we're thinking really high on James Pierre, where he could be, I'm not saying top 3 cornerback in the league, but he could be a steady starter opposite of Joe Hayden, at least for this year, then it might not be worth it because we might lose Joe Hayden next season, which is why it does make sense in a way where if you bring in Xavien Howard, bring in Stephon Gilmore, give them extensions,
you have them,
they could be replacing Joe Hayden in a way. But could it maybe be better where you have that cap flexibility? Joe Hayden plays out this season. Maybe he comes back for a hometown discount. You have James Pierre, Cam Sutton already on a nice contract. You still have to pay TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick. It just might be too much money going around if we bring in either one of those guys, is my thought.
Well, I will say this.
If it's 1 year, I think it'd be an amazing deal.
Okay.
But I think that might be the problem. We have to give them an extension, which would take up cap space for the next like 2, 3, 4 years.
So I will say this, and I'll piggyback this on Roger because we will be having Zach come up in a little bit, man. I actually just got the confirmation. He sent me a text. He's ready to go, man.
We ready?
But Roger says this, man. Roger says, listen here, if we get locked down Gilmore, defense go be better than the 2008-2009 defense going to carry us to the championship. I do think this, man. If you get either one of those guys in terms of Gilly the Kid, that's my dude from Buffalo, or if you go with Xavien, both of those guys upgrade this defense just insanely, right? But I share your sentiment in terms of we know we got the cap flexibility. It's going to be more robust for us next year. We also know that we want to take care of who? TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Just in my mind, I don't see this scenario where we can afford them the way that
keeping the defensive line to
keeping
Cam
the
Hayward to it, Devin Bush.
That's my thing. I just don't see the scenario where we can do that without having to give up some very substantial pieces. And not talking from a trade standpoint, but just saying from a contract flexibility standpoint. That's the part where, for me, I just personally wouldn't want to touch it, man.
Too, Deontay, Claypool.
Right. I mean, Juju's on a 1 year. You're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with him as well. You know, so it's a lot that goes into that. And I want to keep this conversation going. I'm just looking at the clock, though. I know we're kind of pressed right here because we're going to have Zach come on to address the winner of the Epic Experience sweepstakes for the Legends of Pittsburgh Cruise. Can't wait to do that. But man, I just feel like, dude, if we could,
it's tough because you don't want to write it off. If all of a sudden the trade comes in tomorrow, we get Xavien Howard, Stephon Gilmore. It's like, throw out everything I just said. I'm amped up about this season. Right. We'll figure it out in the offseason next year.
Very true.
But as we're sitting right now, it wouldn't sit right with me completely. If I was GM, I don't know if I'd make the move. But if somehow Colbert did, I'd be excited about it. You know what I mean?
Because it's Kevin Colbert.
I don't have the responsibility now of doing it. If I did, I'd be hesitant to do it. Especially Stephon Gilmore, because he wants that extension for this year. His salary cap would fit in, especially if we made some restructures or whatnot. But he wants the extension.
Both of them want new money or guaranteed money. Like I said, we're going to definitely, I feel like we should come back to this topic. We were talking about Gilmore. We were talking about Xavien Howard and what we think that looks like in terms of the money standpoint, right? If they weren't looking for new contracts, if we were just taking on their deals, I love it. I think that it works out way better. But, and even in that scenario, we know obviously their contracts are still a little bit more robust. But I just feel like the money where it's at right now, knowing with the cap supposed to go up, you can make that work. But when you're talking about having to give these guys more money or newer money, right, in terms of the newer guaranteed portions and stuff like that, that's where I get real hesitant and where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that just yet, man.
And I don't know how much you can attest to this, but see, it's weird because we had to deal with these before. I mean, Le'Veon Bell, obviously. But outside of him, maybe Hines Ward way back in the day in terms of like contract disputes. Like we traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, so I can't even say that. Right. I was gonna say, is it a bad sign for us to bring on someone that this is like the main concern? They're not showing up to minicamp. For us to give them that much money, would that be too much of an uncertainty for us? But I don't know.
You know the thing that's funny now that I think about it. We went to that well, like you said, with Minkah.
I know, we've been doing things differently recently.
Why not go back to that same well? What I'm thinking. It's the same phone number, the same organization, same secondary. Like, why not?
We just don't want to shell out $20 million a year. That's probably what it is.
Well,
that's what he's looking for, probably.
No, seriously. Because when he got the deal done, it was dope. But the reason why he wants it just altered is because he understands the cap is going to go up next year. He knows with the cap going up, the money
he still has like 3 or 4 years left on his deal.
The new money that's going to be dished out next year is going to be insane for these cornerbacks. And you're going to take a guy that had double-digit picks this past season, the guy that has been a really, really good player, elite corner, and he's going to be, going from one of the top-tier paid guys to middle-of-the-market type money, and that's where you get these type of scenarios. Now, typically they happen later on in the contracts, but it just so happened that with the pandemic and how the cap plateaued and now we're going to get this big boost in it, that it just happened like that. But I don't think Xavien is a bad guy in terms of a me guy or selfish word about.
You haven't heard about
Right.
from him or Gilmore.
Absolutely. And just because a guy wants his money, I mean, don't we all want to get paid?
Yeah.
I mean, we got ads that we read off. We got commercials that get played. We got to do it. We all work to get money, baby. So when I think of Xavien, I'm just like, okay, this guy wants to get more money, or he understands what's about to happen in that market. I don't think that he's a locker room cancer. So if the deal were to get worked out, great. But I just don't think we're going to be able to pay him 20, TJ 20 plus. And then you got Minka that's going to be in that area as well, man.
The only reason I bring it up, I think, is because there's a direct parallel to TJ and Minka and how they're handling the situation versus like Gilmore and Xavien Howard.
Yeah.
Whereas like it seems like everything's in harmony where the organization's trusting of the player's trusting of the organization. Yeah. Whereas in those two scenarios, we don't really know. We can't say exactly for sure what's going on within Pittsburgh and the organization because there's so many things going on behind the scenes. Like how sure can we say who is right in those scenarios either? Yeah. So that's the only reason I brought it up, just as a thought. But we had to deal with this with Le'Veon Bell, Minka Fitzpatrick. We were on the positive end of that type of situation. So yeah, that was the only thing I was thinking. Could that be somehow a red flag? But yeah, it doesn't make too much sense. Yeah, it was just like a different angle of looking at it. But
yeah, I'm with you, man. I like it. Like I said, either one of the guys, one. I've been teammates. I've shared a locker room with Gilmore. For a fact, I can vouch for his character. The dude just wants the ball. He's super quiet, but he wants the ball, and he could play at a high level. Last year, you dealing with the injuries, you dealing with the league leading amount of COVID opt-outs. The situation wasn't the best. So yeah, he had a down year. But you put him in our defense with the pieces that we currently have, I guarantee you that's going to look a lot more like the year where he won Defensive Player of the Year versus last season. And like you said, with him, it's interesting because his market right now, he's going into the last year of his deal. And obviously his deal was from 5 years ago, if I remember correctly.
17.
Yeah, so just seeing what that new number is for him is the dicey part. And I don't think we're going to want to pay that person.
It's going to be like, I thought it was just going to be 10 plus. Some people were saying it's going to be more like 17 plus. 18, 19,
like
20.
15. I feel like 15 is going to be the range. 15 on a competitor versus 17 or 18 on a bad team.
That's not bad if you're going to for sure have him as a replacement for Joe Hayden. Then
I agree. But would it make more sense to just wait till next year?
That's what I mean. It would be perfect if it was just for this year. It would be the perfect scenario.
I just don't think if New England doesn't extend him, they probably would have to move him. And I just don't think we're going to be able to wait a year from now to make that work. Because wherever he goes, it's going to be one of those we'll sign you to a longer deal type scenarios that we've seen the NFL do before. I just don't think that we're going to be major players in that, though.
Yeah,
I wish we would, though, man.
Yeah.
God, Gilly here, God, man. The same way we fell in love when Joe came here. We was like, God, this is a breath. Oh, we need this. I'm telling you. And we've had really good cornerback play, but trust me, if Gilly come here,
timing might just not be right. We may have to see what the cornerback market's looking like next year. Does Joe Hayden come back for a team-friendly deal somehow because he's going to be 33, I think.
Yeah, 33, 34, that age.
And we got to see how Pierre plays, Sutton too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the cornerbacks that we have on the roster, these young dudes work out, then it would feel like maybe this isn't worth it, signing Gilmore to this long-term deal, because we'd have dudes on the cheap that's bringing more value. It would have been perfect for 1 year. I think we got to see how this one plays out a little bit.
Yeah, I think
because we could probably get a dude not to Howard or Gilmore's caliber in the next offseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's still
we can even draft a dude in the first round too.
And there's still guys this offseason that are available. We talked to our Richard Sherman, way more cost efficient. Now, granted, we know he has some more limitations compared to those guys, but that's an option. We know Steven Nelson technically isn't an option right now. But
that'd be perfect.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Those are probably the top two. I think there's a drop off after those.
But this is what we're gonna need. We should pay some bills. And the best way to pay some bills, baby, is by getting ready for this hot boy summer. And what do we mean by hot boy summer? I'm talking for the Manscaped crew, baby. It's hot guy summer, man. You know when the summer hit, we gotta be feeling good, nice and aerodynamic. And the best way to do that is with my friends over at Manscaped. We know the Lawnmower 4.0, you know the one, the 4.0 with the light that goes on.
Technology is crazy.
Off. I mean, how do you think this beautiful face gets groomed this way? How do you think this taco meat stays alive? We can't show nip, especially during the ad. We can't show that during the ad.
I don't want to get kicked off YouTube here.
We definitely can't do that. But how do you see this perfect length of taco meat there? That doesn't happen without the Lawnmower 4.0. But since it is hot boy summer, right? And I call it hot guy summer, hot boy summer, because we know the girls, right? Was it the Stallions and all of them? They got their hot girl summer. We not going for that anymore, all right? We taking over here. It's our time. All right? So Manscaped, they said, what if we hooked up the guys? What if we hooked up the hot guys with a performance package? I said, whoa, what you mean? Share the details on this performance package. Performance package that includes the Lawnmower 4.0, which we already said is pivotal. I mean, it doesn't get any better when it comes to the below the waist grooming. It doesn't. I promise you. Personal experience. Okay. So you got the Lawnmower 4.0 that's in there. They also have the Weed Whacker. What is the Weed Whacker? You might be asking, right? Well, you notice we don't have any nostril hairs over here, right? We nice and groomed. That's what the Weed Whacker does, baby. Gets those nose hairs, get those ear hairs, wherever else you might have hair growing. It's kind of weird. All right? Weed Whacker. Then, can we add to that?
Oh, yeah. I think you have to.
It wouldn't be a hot guy summer if we didn't add to it, right?
Yeah, you need all the elements.
So not only do you have the Lawnmower 4.0, not only do you have the Weed Whacker, but you also have the Crop Reviver along with the Crop Refresher. I mean, you got two things for your crop. This is revive, refresh, revive. You can't go wrong with that, baby. You can't go wrong. And as we said, we don't talk about anybody unless we have deals for you all, okay? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, use the promo code MOATS. Get you 20% off along with free shipping, baby. Don't miss out on this opportunity. And trust me on this. Once you do that and you make your purchase and you use the promo code MOATS, your delicate twins, they will absolutely love you for this, baby. They will. Ask Deke about it, man.
This is a big time summer, too.
Mm-hmm. You need it, man.
We were locked up all last summer.
You need it, man.
You got to come with your A game.
No question. It's the only way to be, man.
Manscaped is helping you do that.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's what we bring to y'all, baby.